Hello folks. Okay, this is an interesting video on what we're finding as we start to pull together this claim against this coronavirus crate system that arrested me on New Year's Eve. So basically what we found there was you're being arrested by the police, they're then sending you to the courts on a date that they're hiring the courts, so you don't come out of the police's hands at all, judge, jury, sentence, and the courts are not actually involved because there's no paperwork. That's what we've come to understand so far. Now, why would that be so is obviously what I'm trying to seek. Now, looking on the Securities and Exchange Commission yesterday, I came across, I'm looking basically for Lancashire Constabulary as a company and not having any success at finding that. Suffice to say, I came off the securities and went on straight to the Edgar files, and this is what I came up with. Now, first, before we go there, I'll just introduce you to a company called Nice Limited. It's based 13 Zarchin Street, PO Box 690, Ra'anana, Israel. Okay, so this is an Israeli company. Now, bear in mind, we do know that all the tech companies, all the high tech that Israel's stolen from Britain and the United States, passed to Russia and then passed to China and anybody else that wants to join the gang, the entire system of technology is being centred in Israel. Now, this operates in relation to setting up the Noahide system. This is what your 21st degree Freemasons are all about, the Noahide judges. Okay, that's who they are. They're also the Axeman for decapitation, whether that's literal decapitation or whether that is through language. Decapitation, your person, yeah? You know, both things have to be considered as real. So everything's been moved into Israel, okay? Israel's now running China, it's now running Russia, United States, it's been running Britain for a long time. For the Jesuits, on behalf of the Holy See, and this is important that people understand this. This Israel game is nothing to do with real Hebrews. This is the families behind the Crusades, which are over in the Middle East. They've actually used the Crusades to piggyback back into the West. That's how they've managed to do this. They did this through the Templars. The Jesuits are the Templars. That's who they are. You know, so they've never been in sync with the Roman Church. And this is another thing people get a bit... I think the Roman Church is not the Templars, is not the Holy See. The Holy See is a separate entity that controls everything else. The Church is its own entity, and that's been annihilated. It's been annihilated because them that claim to be Catholics are nothing of the sort. They're just going along with church doctrine, irrespective of whether it contradicts doctrine, the law, which is what doctrine basically boils down to. It defines as law. So through the religions, they've managed to take you off the law, the doctrine, and given you this religious Disneyland. Okay, so that's basically what's happened. And now they're running riot. Because ultimately the Jesuits are controlling Freemasonry since the aristocracy took it over in the 1600s or late 1600s into the 1700s. So the G in the compass stands for the general, superior general of the Jesuit order. You don't realise that, you're not given that information until you get to the 32nd degree Scottish Rite. Then you are shown who you really work for. The Jesuits, the Jesuit general, that's who you're all operating for, you little masonic tits that are just so thick that you couldn't get a wind of this. You know, you expect people to look up to you, give you respect. Bullshit. You're the children, the primary school children who have been deceived the most. Yeah? That's where you're at, folks. Now, I know you don't understand that, but I do understand that, and that's why I can only see you in those terms. You do have the potential to turn this around because you have the lodges, but you're not, because you're pathetic. You're doing what you're told. You're not there thinking. You're not there seeking. You're sucking the shit out of your superior's ass. And the ultimate superior general of the Jesuits is the rectum to which you are drinking of the excreta. Jesuits operate exactly for the Holy See. In fact, for the House Farnese. The House Farnese created the Jesuits. The House Farnese are responsible for the Tudors on the throne in England. The House Farnese, through Pallavicini, are responsible for building up the British Navy, not the English Navy, the British Empire Navy. Okay? So, you know, what was set up originally, Virginia Company, East India Companies, the term company is synonymous with the Jesuits. They call themselves the company. Yeah? The English monarchs called themselves the firm. Well, the British monarchs, rather. But again, the Civil War was about the English Protestant monarchy system being taken over by the Holy See through Jesuits. And Henry VIII opened that door well, very well for them. The Tudors were put on the throne by the House Stanley, who operated for the House Pallavicini, who ultimately operated for the House Farnese. Now, I'm putting this video together, but I'm also going to write up a report on the website so that you can see it in writing and look at it that way. So in the forward on the report I'm going to put together, you can look at the data that I've just presented as in relation to Jesuits, Freemasonry, Holy See, etc. I will put that in the forward so you can actually examine that if you've come to this firsthand. However, if you've followed this channel for a while, everything I've just said to you, you already know, and that's excellent. So this is going to expand now what it is I'm finding in relation to why Lancashire Duchy, the Duchy of Lancaster, is interesting. It was stolen by the Crown and became the personal fiefdom of the city monarch. Now, back in the day when I got into all this, I understood that it was Prince Charles who was moving me up into the ranks of everything, and supposedly he would have been my mentor had I gone the other way through the mystery school. As it happens, I didn't. Went the other way. So the battle then commenced between me and these powerful forces that operate through the duchy. Prince Charles has administered, or he did administer the duchy on behalf of his mother. But then what I found back 10 years ago was that it was actually the Duke of Westminster, the Grosvenors, that were operating the duchy, and out of America. So the Grosvenors are a lot more powerful in America than they actually are here, as far as wealth goes. And what I found was that the American Grosvenors were actually administrating the Duchy of Lancaster on behalf of the monarch, which is why there's been so many changes going on in Lancashire, i.e. Lancashire County Council has been dissolved. It became the Blues and Twos Credit Union, which now appears to be operating directly under IBM. So that's your American branch and what they've achieved in Lancashire. Then you've got your police, part of the Blues and Twos Credit Union, etc. All assets and liabilities of Lancashire County Council have been within the Blues and Twos Credit Union, which is a society on Companies House since the early 2000s, okay? That's a fact. These are facts, these provable facts, which I'll evidence in the report intro. So that's where we're at. So what are we finding now? We've got nice limited, okay? So let's just have a look. Specifically to how NICE operates with Lancashire Police, okay? So this has been going on for quite a while. Now, Lancashire Police from 2004 took upon themselves an airwave system of communication, again tied into this NICE Israeli group. So this is intelligence pulling our systems into their control. So it says, NICE Investigate brings digital cloud transformation to Lancashire Constabulary to provide faster, more efficient investigations and prosecutions. So what I've just experienced there would be efficient and faster investigations and prosecutions. Why? Because the courts are not involved. You're not being brought before law. You're being brought before these Israeli twats. Okay, now let me put this point forward as well that's important. When I'm speaking of Israel, it's a place full of people who claim to be Jewish, but they're Ashkenazis, so they're not Hebrews, they're not tied to the biblical tradition. They're just people who are claiming to be Jewish. However, the controllers of Israel are not Jews. Okay, it's the force that controlled the Templars, which I've traced back to the Magi. Okay, which pans out when you look at the Holy See. The majority of the big blood families trace themselves back to Persia. All right, Zoroastrianism. All right. So, as I've put forward many times, in my opinion, Zoroastrianism, or whatever that force was, has co-opted everything in the world. That's Islam, that's Christianity, all the religions, and of course the Hebrew tradition, through claiming the Talmud to be Judaism. Well, it might be Judaism, but it's not Hebrew. Anyway, so I can, everything I'm bringing to the forward here, I can correlate. And if you go onto my website, I will show you how I have come to these understandings. It's, I'm not making this up. So there you go. You can just go to my website if you want evidence, written evidence, or you can just carry on with the videos and take me at my word, or, of course, investigate whatever I'm saying as well for yourself, because I might have missed something. That's how we learn. So this is nice, and it's brought something great to Lancashire Constabulary. It claims. It says, Nice Investigate will support more than 3,600 officers and digitally transform processes around the collection, analysis and sharing of digital evidence, saving both time and money. Okay, so they want to move all this digital. This is complete bollocks, to be quite frank. Okay, Hoboken, New Jersey, October the 19th, 2020. NASDAQ NICE. Today announced that Lancashire Constabulary, so this is 19th of October 2020, has announced that Lancashire Constabulary has chosen to deploy its cloud-based NICE Investigative Digital Evidence Management Solutions, DEMS for short, for the alphabet title. Lancashire Constabulary will roll out NICE Investigate to more than 3,600 officers in partnership with the Crown Prosecution Service, CPS, to digitally transform processes around the collection, analysis and sharing of digital evidence, ultimately enabling it to investigate and prosecute cases faster and more efficiently. Yeah, you bunch of fucking wankers. You're not even using the courts. You're not even playing with law. You're playing with administrative law. Yeah? Government legislation, government acts are not the fucking law. It's administrative law. Okay? We'll further that investigate in another video. But for now, I've emptied that little excitement there. But, Carl Drinkwater, a project manager with the James Harvard consultancy, assigned to the DEMS project on behalf of Lancashire Constabulary. So that's Carl Drinkwater. Carl Drinkwater, okay? And he's working with James Harvard Consultancy. And these are assigned to this Israeli DEMS. And he stated, as part of a business change approach. So the coppers are now doing business, as I've explained on these videos. This is all about shifting from law enforcement service of law into doing fucking business, which means you're going to pay. All right? You're going to pay with your wallet, you're going to pay with your property, you're going to pay with your time in prison. This is what these shitbags in Israel under Noahide are setting up. And you're accepting this because you're too busy wearing your mask, not getting oxygen to your brain. So it's just enough so you can watch television, but you can't think outside the television. Okay, rant over. Lancashire Constabulary will roll out NICE Investigate to more than 3,600 officers in partnership with the Crown Prosecution Service to digitally transform processes around collection, analysis, sharing digital evidence. Alright, so that's what they're playing at. Carl Drinkwater, project manager with James Harvard Consultancy, signed to the DEMS project on behalf of Lancashire Constabulary, stated, as part of a business change approach to transforming how digital evidence is managed, Lancashire Constabulary undertook an exhaustive end-to-end exercise of mapping out the journey of digital evidence from its frontline officers to investigators to the CPS for different types of offences, such as domestic violence, assault, theft and so on. Did they ask you if they're allowed to fucking do this? Public servants? I need to start ranting. This gave us a clear understanding of where there were inefficiencies and opportunities to use NICE Investigate to save time, money and speed up investigations. Ultimately, NICE Investigate is going to improve outcomes for Lancashire Constabulary, the CPS and the communities they serve. Well, these bastards serve the stakeholder communities. Remember this, not you. You're getting bummed. You're getting the shit sucked out of you. Your money, your time, and they're having you in a constant state of harassment, alarm and distress and fear. Yeah, the communities they serve people, that is the stakeholder committees. So if you're a Masonic connected, you are sucking the shit out of the stakeholder community. Alright? Got to see this. When these pricks use communities, it's stakeholder communities. If they talk about committees, it's stakeholder committees. If they talk about law, they're talking about administrative law, contract law, bullshit garbage that's costing you your livelihood. According to Drinkwater, process improvements equate to cost savings as well. Investigators currently spend the majority of their workday manually copying CCTV and body-worn videos in investigations onto CDs, which we don't get with any ease. So they're spending all this money for themselves, not for us, not to service the law, which keeps the nation together, to service this shit, which destroys the nation. Which then need to be physically labelled, categorised and shelled. Oh, who are them? They have to do some work. Well, we used to have secretaries for that. Yeah? The police did policing and secretaries did administration. We didn't decide that police have to do administration and paperwork. They decided that they got rid of secretaries. Okay? Because they want more money. Where's it going? Oh, stakeholder committee. With NICE Investigate, this process will be completely automated as video automatically pulled onto digital case folders. We expect a 70% cost saving from this process change alone. 70%? 70% saving for them? Where are we seeing that money back? Where are we going to see that? We're not. Said Drinkwater. Additionally, because evidence will be stored digitally in the cloud. A cloud is accessible by any prick that can hack. We also anticipate a 75% reduction in the cost of physical media. Okay. Chris Wooten. Now, this is a name I've heard before, and I'm pretty sure this guy's tied to copperism. Chris Wooten, Executive Vice President of NICE. So this is a... I'm sure he is. I'll have to check him out before I make a statement of fact. But my feelers are wobbling about there with that name, Chris Wooten. Stated, Lancashire Constabulary business change approach. You get that? Chris Wooten, Executive Vice President, NICE, stated Lancashire Constabulary's business change approach. So they're not in sync with law, it's about business. To digital transformation is a direction that all police forces should emulate. So this is Israel getting its little claws set up in this Duchy of Lancaster that's controlled by the American branch of the Grosvenors, now under IBM. This is the playground for the changing things. They now want all the police forces in the entire nation to take up this Israeli cloud system that deals with you. By focusing on specific process improvements that can be achieved through digital transformations, forces can achieve substantial, tangible outcomes. For who? Not in the service of law, for doing business. It says, leading up to its force-wide rollout of the full version of NICE, NICE Investigate, anticipated for later this year, Lancashire Constabulary, so that was later last year, so it was put into place at the end of last year, which I've experienced it in play here. This is what we now find. This is where it's at, people. The whole game's moving into this Israeli system, all right, which we know hide. You've really got to start to grasp this. And all your little Masonic friends that you think you know and they're lovely are pushing this. All your Jesuit friends, your churches, all your evangelicals, all these freaks are pushing this system, all right? That's what's happening. You're not Christians. You are Noahides. That's where you're going. So they launched it to the end of last year. It says, Lancashire Constabulary will continue to rely on NICE Investigate Express. Lancashire deployed NICE Investigate Express earlier this year at the start of the pandemic. Oh, did they? Interesting. To help keep officers safe from COVID-19. This is supposed to be grown-up languages. Offered free to police forces. Oh, freebie. Oh, it's a freebie. I bet I'll find Epstein in here somewhere down the line. Offered to police forces free throughout 2020. Nice Investigate Express transforms processes around collecting, analysing and sharing digital evidence that would ordinarily require in-person contact or physical touch. Oh, clever. Like this weren't planned a long time ago and now it's being given free. Very, very clever. Now, the support from NICE during the pandemic has been invaluable, said Drinkwater. That's, Carl Drinkwater, project manager. NICE Investigate Express has helped us put safeguards in place to better protect officers, force staff and CPS stakeholders. Okay, so who are the stakeholders in the Crown Prosecution Service? I do wonder. Well, it's got to be government, hasn't it? Crown agent. It's got to be the Crown, hasn't it? You know? By removing the physical touch from digital evidence, Lancashire has been able to share all needed case evidence digitally, securely and remotely. Now, well, they haven't shared anything with me. Because there's no paperwork. There's no case management file that they can give me. Still, I have received nothing that says there is no claim before the court. This is this bunch of shitbags trying to screw Christians. That's how it's working. You've got to start to see it like this, folks. Otherwise, you're not seeing. NICE Investigate is a one-stop solution for transforming manual processes around the collection, management, analysis and sharing of all types of digital evidence. NICE Investigate is currently being used by 15 police forces in the UK, additional police departments in the US, and more than 50,000 investigators and police officers around the world. So they're shoving this in globally. This is a global system that they're pushing in. It says NICE is also offering a version of its cloud-based NICE Investigate Express to police forces free of charge for the duration of 2020, typically deployed in less than 48 hours. So they can check over the policing systems in 48 hours with this parasitic Israeli intelligence Holy See network. Okay. So about Lancashire Constabulary, it says here. It says, founded in 1839, Lancashire Constabulary is a UK police force covering a county spanning 1,189 square miles. It is split into 3 divisions, west, south and east, with its headquarters based in Hutton, Preston, serving a population of nearly 1.5 million or 2,900 police officers and 2,500 police staff. Right, so again, with this lockdown, there are 1.5 million of us in Lancashire. There are only 2,900 pretend police constables. Now, my math isn't the best in the world, but 1.5 million people versus 2,500 knuckle draggers, no competition. Even with the little soldier boys in the background. There's only 125,000 of them in total. So we got 125,000 blighty boys that are not very bright these days, probably because they've had too many vaccinations, versus with 2,900 police versus 1.5 million. It's not happening. Can you see? There's the power if you've got it. I know that a lot of baby boomers are all sucked into this because they think they're Britishers. You know, they believe everything that comes on the television. But them aside, they're being slaughtered anyway now, so it doesn't matter. They're genociding themselves. You know, the lemmings are jumping off the cliff, as it were, of Dover. In Aki. Anyway, I'm losing my train of thought here because it does get me excited, this. So, you know, there's probably 1 million of us strapping, not baby boomers, not Masons, not Jesuits, not obeying doctrine of religion as opposed to keeping to the law of the actual theology. We're still going to white floor you anyway. If they sent the entire British Army here, who cares? There's over 1.5 million of us. Northerners, Vikings. I remember this. We're not southern softies like them Saxon buffs. We're Vikings. You forget this. You know, Odin's watching. He's not happy. He's rather perturbed. because he's seeing Lockie take over. Lockie is now taking over the show. Right, I'm getting off track there. So that basically is what's been going on with the coronacopters pretending to be police constables because they're IDing as PC, but jumping into officer because they want to shag you for your money. They want to. You want you stood there going, yes sir, no sir, yeah, yes sir, no sir. That's what they want, because the kind of people they've got in there need that, because they, you know, they either couldn't marry an English, no Englishman would marry him, no English woman would stay with him. You know what I mean? So they've had to jump into this foreign system because they feel at home there. The oddbods, and so they've joined the Society of Oddbods, or Odd Fellows. Very powerful Jesuit network in Bury and surrounding. So, you know, we've had the Odd Fellows in Lancashire for quite some time. And if you've watched Peaky Blinders, you can see the role the Odd Fellows have played, especially when it comes to the war. That's because the Templars, they are Jesuits. Jesuits, Holy See, captured the church. Yeah, the religion is no longer operating the church doctrine, it's operating Holy See doctrine. And I've got a couple of little clips, not for this video, but for a future one, to put that point forward to you so that you understand who Francis is. He's not a Pope of Rome. He's not the Church of Rome's Pope. He is the Pope of the Holy See. That's what he's been introduced as in America when he's brought forward and introduced to the hoity-toits. He's introduced as the Pope of the Holy See. Okay? Church is gone. Sideline. Gone. They've nicked everything the church had. Okay? So if you're a Catholic out there and you're still totally obedient to this church doctrine, you really need to check yourself, because you're not going into the arms of Jesus. Jesus has said, fuck off. You're a cock. You're not following the law. You're following the fancy pants. You're following the numpties, you know, for lollipops. And I've nicked that. I've nicked all that. I've nicked them two versions of a very well-respected, in my opinion, comedian. But never mind that. I've nicked it. I'll put it in for you guys. So basically, this is what we're going on now. This is what you're facing anytime you look at a copper. You're looking at Israel. You're looking at AI that's going to judge you. All this is moving into the AI system, and this is what's important that you need to understand. Now, if we just go into a little bit here, it says investors as a guy called Marty Cohen and Yiska Erez. Now, when you look at them, no. These are just persons, fantasists. It's just a front, nothing. It's meaningless. Don't seek them out. You'll not find them. And we did seek them out last night. Just get a million pictures of different people called Marty Cohen. You're not getting these men. They don't exist. It's a fantasy, all right? So that is basically what I found yesterday. Now, when I looked into NICE again more, they're into everything, which I'm going to go through in this next part of this video. Okay, so this comes off, it's an Edgar file, so it's Securities and Exchange Commission, and it's coming in a report that's called 6K. And it says it consists of the following documents which are attached hereto and incorporated by reference herein. So, NICE Actimize announces Engage Live, the largest virtual financial crime risk management cluster event of the year, on the power of always on AI. And that's dated October the 5th, 2020. So they're big on AI, and it's something called NICE Actimize, which is another branch of this intelligence operation. In October the 12th, so this was obviously being really pushed through October of last year. So 12th of October, it's recognised as a robotic process automation leader in Everest Group's peak matrix, and that's for the third consecutive year. So for 3 years running, NICE has been recognised by Everest Group as fantastic and amazing. So we can look at Everest Group as another bunch of shysters doing their best to uproot law enforcement and financial institutions and databases and call centre connections. Yeah, these people are putting their hands in some serious pies. Our pies. 13th of October, so that's the day after they were recognised, they showcased strategies for driving agile customer and employee experiences. Strategies for driving agile customer and employee experiences. What? Okay. So, and then the day after that, they've been busy in October. So on the day after that, the 14th, UK's Cleveland Police selects NICE Investigate for digital evidence management process transformation in the cloud. Right? So there you go, Cleveland Police. Now on the 15th, so good grief, there's a lot going on here. So on the 15th of October last year, NICE in contact C zone stays ahead of fast changing customer expectations with emotive features that fuel modern contact centres. So they've got their mitts in all this data about everybody that's going on in the digital in Israel, lording it over you. Ooh. Now, on the 19th of October, it says NICE Investigate brings digital cloud transformation to Lancashire Constabulary. So we've looked at that. Again on the 19th, NICE Investigate brings digital cloud transformations to Lancashire Constabulary. Okay. And that's two things for Lancashire Constabulary on the 19th of October. On the 20th of October, leading European bank uses NICE authentication to improve security and customer experience. Okay, so that's a big European bank. It didn't tell me where. It probably would if I looked into the file, but you know, we're just briefly giving an insight as to how big this NICE Limited is in Israel, getting its paws and mitts into everything in this no-hide system, which is digital. On the 21st of October, so remember this is started on the 5th of October and is running all the way up to the 20th of October. So the 21st, NICE SAT metrics selected by financial services company Midland States Bank to build a unified customer-centric culture with a holistic voice to the customer. So this is where they're getting rid of your banks, on your high street banks, dealing with people. This is all about how they're going to automate this nonsense. And as we know, these high street banks and national banks are just going to become credit banks for the Federal Reserve on the lease lend system they're moving everybody into on the no-hide. Okay, so that's why you want the certificate of participation. They're not giving you all the facts. The facts are not being given to you in relation to what's actually going on, who's being leased, you know. You need to know these things. So again, you know, we're pulling things together. Things are just pulling together naturally because we're breaking into the system that they want to keep very quiet. On the 26th of October last year, US's second largest county to deploy NICE Inform Intelligence Centre for digital transformation of its consolidated 9/11 operation. And that's dated 26th of October. So we get 27th of October, NICE launches Evidence Central Marketplace, first open digital evidence management ecosystem. On the 27th again, on the 28th, C-Zone Analytics boosts contact centre performance and extreme agility. That's 28th of October. And on the 29th of October last year, NICE first to achieve Microsoft Teams certification for unified communications recording, enabling digital transformations of financial services organisation. 29th of October last year. Microsoft and Israel are one. Bill Gates, are you seeing this? So obviously then NICE Limited is a Microsoft organisation. It's an operation working for Microsoft. So you've got vaccine involvement, you've got Bill Gates. Forget that he's resigned, it's all the same thing. He would never, is anyway, he fronted it. For the Rockefellers, you just study the history of Bill Gates, you'll see the game. As with all these billionaires, they're front men. They don't have nothing. JP Morgan, prime example, look into him. You'll see he had nothing, but while he were alive, the world thought he had everything. You know? Front men, these people. So there you go, NICE. And that's just from one report from last year called 6K in relation to what NICE were bigging itself up to do. But more importantly, it's getting stuck into this law enforcement. It's also looking to actually administer the court process. Okay, this is another thing that it's moving to carry out. So it's taking over. Now, as I've said, with the experience I've just had, this is what we're seeing in action. This is why there's no case management files. This is why there's no paperwork coming. This is why Plumber told me there were no paperwork. Just go. Just go. Yeah, that's not law, that's not nation, that's shit, that's garbage, it's pish. Nobody should be accepting this. Nobody. So that's what we'll do as a video for this subject matter. But as I said, I'm going to put a report together, so I'll get all the data together so you can have a full read and access to whatever documents I'm finding in relation to NICE Limited, which I'm quite sure at this stage is the issue and problem we're having when it comes to not getting what's expected from our judiciary, law enforcement, government, crown, etc., when you are being claimed to be brought to law. With that, I shall say, till the next time.